Hi there. I know I have done a couple of these kind of explainer videos and posts and things for our free cross-stitch challenge. I thought I would do one and add it as a floss tube here so that it's easy to find on our YouTube. So our cross-stitch challenges are offered out once per month. They are completely free. You just have to be on our email list in order to get the PDFs of the challenge printable, as well as there is a little free pattern each month that you do need to be subscribed as an email subscriber to get it during that month. If you come late, there is the ability to purchase the past ones. They are no longer free after the month that they release. So in the comments of this video, you will see a link to make sure you're on the email list. You'll see a link to purchase any of the past bobbin. This year, 2023 is bobbins. It'll be a new theme for 2024, but the same process will apply. So you'll have a place that you can buy all of the past bobbins, either individually or as a group if you want all up to date before. So say you're joining in, right now it's August. So say you joined in August, but you want January to July's. There's one bundle that you can buy them all. Or if you just want to pick which ones you like, then you can purchase them individually. There is also a layout that is included in the bundle. So if you want to do these all as one cute little pattern at the end. And then we also have little Stitch It bundles. Those are just teeny tiny, teeny tiny little patterns to get you some of the boards on your Stitch-O bingo board. And those, again, I'll have a link in the comment to those as well, so you can get any of the past ones. They're really great for like little cards, or if you want to make bookmarks out of them or embellish things with them. They're just tiny little patterns, but they're like super cute little teddy bears and flamingos and sunshines and different things like that. So you can catch up on any of the past ones if you weren't with us. If you were with us, you would have got them in your, you would have got the bobbins in your email with the challenge, and the Stitch-Its you would have got an email the month that they release. So say right now we're in August. Stitch-It is $1 for the month of August, and then it goes up to the regular $2 price after August 31st. So like I said, to be a part of the challenge, you do need to be able to get the PDFs, you do need to be on our email list. And then we have a Facebook group where you can share your progress, ask questions, and just have some fun. So what you see on my screen here is the Facebook page. So on the page, you will see a featured section. In the featured section, I try to keep important information at the top. So you can go through here and scroll things that I think are important. So like right now, there is a group chat available if you have questions about becoming a Stitchie. There is some announcements about our Stitchie opening, which is September 8th at 9 a.m. So there's a raffle that's happening with that. There's just some different information about all of our Stitchies around the world. And then we also have a mystery minder club, so needle minder club, and bundle 2 is going out this weekend. And so if you don't want to be a part of it on a monthly basis, you can just buy a bundle and you'll get 3 needle minders in that package, and those will go out later next week. And then if I do different floss tubes like this one, you'll see the announcements. So this is a past Facebook Live we had done about how to count your stitches and stuff like that. And again, I just keep more of the announcements as we go through on here. You'll see the winners each month because the challenge does have a winner each month, that sort of thing. So you can scroll through here to see if there's stuff you miss. There is also in the albums, the photo albums, there's an album for each month's little freebie that you can add your finishes to. So if you go in, you can see some other people's finishes. Some people have changed colors, stuff like that. When we have minder days, the albums will be there, as well as the mystery minder. There's a spoiler one. So if you go in there, you'll see what kind of minders come out with the mystery minders. And so it'll go back, like this was 2023, or sorry, this is 2022. So 2023 is our little bobbins here. So the group, I just ask that you be cognizant of not promoting things or putting a lot of links, because not only do I want this to be focused on the challenge, is I don't want Facebook to start thinking we're just a spammy little group. So when people ask where you have a pattern from, maybe just, I ask that you just put, I got it off Etsy from so-and-so. So they can easily go on to Etsy and they can Google, like search on Etsy for, say, my shop, Creatively Stitching, and they can go find it from there. If it's a kit, you can say this was a dimension kit that called this, rather than putting links, just to save any of the algorithms from thinking we are spam. Same thing with when you put posts up, make sure that they are of your work, not trying to sell something or promote something. Definitely not any of the, I have this PlayStation, who wants to buy it, or I have these Disney cross-stitch magazines, who wants to buy them. I don't want any selling in the group, because I can't vet all of the people that are in there. So if there is things that I feel that need to be or could be promoted or could be helpful, I will promote myself. So if you see that I'm promoting things, it's either my products or it's products that I have vetted. So say if I suggest a fabric and I say, hey, go get Be Stitch Me's, I think her name is, or here's Grace Note Fabrics, or here's so-and-so's this, like, then I know that I've purchased their things. I know that their quality is good, and I know that they're safe to work with, things like that. So if I'm promoting it, that's fine, but I just ask that there's no promotion in the group as a whole. Another thing that I do not want in the group is pattern sharing. That includes our bobbins. They are free for the month when they come out. So right now, August is free, but you would need to private message either myself or Ashley Kwan, which is my modmin for the group, and ask for us to get it for you, rather than asking people in the group. I don't want people in the group sharing a pattern. Same thing if you get, you show a piece of work that you're working on and it's a free pattern from somebody else. So say Doreen's, I know she puts out a lot of freebies. Don't put the link to her, like, don't send the pattern to the person. What I would want you to do is say, okay, this is Doreen's pattern called this. And then they can go look for her group, because her group has all of these free patterns posted in it, and they can join that group and she can benefit from that person, rather than you just handing out somebody else's freebie. Yes, it was free for you to get, but the thing is that the reason that artists will give out some things for free is so that you can see the work that they do and you can engage with them. So we would like you to, stay, and we want to see you stitch the work. We want to see you engage in our group. So as much as, okay, it was free to you, but here, why don't you, it's called Sunshine by Bob Smith. I don't know, I'm making up names. And then that person can go find that person, go on their email list, go in their group, and show off their work in there. So it still promotes the person without just giving away the product from somebody else. That's, that's how I see it, is that all of these designers will no longer design things if it's just distributed by everybody. Like, the reason that we do these things is because we like to get our work out there and we like to see people stitching our work, but we would also like to engage with those people, and have some type of interaction. At least that's my thoughts on it. So if you do show something and somebody wants the pattern, just direct them to where you got the pattern. So I got it from so-and-so's Etsy shop, or I got it from so-and-so, like I got it from Heaven and Earth Designs. That's all you have to say, and they can go search on their site. Don't private message each other to get patterns and things like that. This is not a pattern sharing group. And if you were posting a picture of your work, make sure the pattern itself is not in the picture. So if there's any portion of the pattern that may, like, so say half the bobbin is in the picture and very clearly in the picture, Ashley will likely reach out to you and say, hey, do you mind just switching the picture around or scribbling on the pattern? Again, it's the same thing, is these patterns are provided to you as a thank you for joining the email list and joining our challenge. They're not just to be given out willy-nilly to everybody. So same thing when you put the pictures up, even if it's not my patterns, the other people will have these same thoughts, is they don't want their patterns just in pictures where somebody can take a picture and essentially just stitch the pattern from the picture. So just be very cognizant that your patterns aren't showing in the pictures that you take of your work, as well as you're not putting a ton of different links in your comments and things like that. Those are my main two do not do's of the group. Otherwise, I just ask that everybody be positive, everybody be inspirational and happy about things. Don't belittle other people's work. Everybody cross stitches different. Everybody cross stitches the way that makes them happy. If you see somebody's work and you think that something could be done differently, don't just go, oh, but to make it neater, you can do this. That may sound like help, but to somebody else that will sound like criticism, whereas you're saying my work's messy. So it's rather than, if you see somebody's work and say they're newer and they cross stitch in the opposite direction. So instead of all of your lines one way, they go the other way, and you go and comment and say, oh, but if you do it the other way, that's the way it's supposed to be. technically, if you want to read the how-tos, sure, that's the way it's supposed to be, but is it really? Does it make a different product if they're all facing this way or they're all facing that way? So rather than saying something like that you think may be helpful, somebody else may take that as a criticism, and you know what I mean? It just, be normal, nice human beings, I guess, is where I'm saying, is just, you know, inspire other people. Nobody knows where somebody else is in their life. This cross-stitching as a whole is a way for people to relax, and it's a therapy to a lot of people. There are a lot of people that have a lot going on in their life, and many people have a lot going on in their life, and I've been privileged to have people reach out to me and actually let me into their lives in this sense, that they don't need to be going onto a page to say, hey, look, I'm so excited I got this done, and then somebody in the comments to say, oh, but you could do it neater. So that's where I'm going with this, is just stay positive and inspire and give high fives and congratulations for what people are doing, rather than nitpicking all the things they could do differently, when really it's not, it makes no difference to the end result if that person's happy with the way it is and they're excited to show it off the way it is. I don't want somebody to be worried about showing off their work to us. I want people to be excited to share with the group, and not be worried somebody's going to say something mean or something criticizing or anything like that. When it comes to showing your work, if your work is very, we'll call it sassy, like if there's a lot of swear words or something very controversial to your work, and you're unsure if you should post it because it may start a debate outside of the actual cross-stitching itself, private message me and ask, and I'll see if it's something like, you know what I mean, if I say, hey, you know, that's got a bunch of F words in it, maybe just put some little emoji stickers on top of it, just in case the kids are watching or something. I know mostly everybody in this group is an adult, but prying eyes and little kids do see as well. So we try to keep it as low key in terms of the sassy cuss word kind of, I can't remember the word. There's a group, uncensored. There's a group that has like that. Literally, they're all about just the really dirtier cross stitching, and that's not us. So, but if you're unsure, you can definitely reach out to myself or Ashley as well. You may notice from time to time that Ashley may pop in and turn comments off on things. It is because I'm just trying to keep drama away. I know that there are a lot of groups on Facebook, cross-stitching or not cross-stitching related, that Facebook, it invites drama. It always has. And there are people that will comment and just, you know what I mean, they just turn things to the way they don't need to be. So if we see that something is going in a way that we don't want them to, and we don't want to have political debates, or we don't want to have art theft debates and things like that, we will come in, we'll comment, we'll say, hey, okay, that's great. Thank you, everybody. We're just going to turn comments off here instead of continuing to have that banter going. We don't need the drama in here. I want everybody to feel welcome. I want everybody to just be talking about happy things, cross-stitch things, crafty things, and not have a bunch of like spam and promotion. Yes, I promote in the group. That is a perk to being the owner of the group. I will brag about my stitchies. I will show you when I have new patterns. I will use the @everyone tag on things that I feel would be important for everybody to see. If you do not want to see the @everyone tag, there is a way in Facebook to turn that notification off. But like I said, I will only use it on stuff that I think is important, and it will only be usually a couple times a month, if anything. Otherwise, it's like I'm not going to use it for every single thing I post on here. I will with, you know what I mean, like the pay what you want, to make sure that you can get patterns that are like nearly half to 3/4 off in price. I will put it for needle minder days because Facebook tends to not show these things in people's feeds. So I just want you to see, hey, there is a sale going on needle minders. Do I say you have to add something or buy something? Absolutely not. But it's just to say, hey, it's here. So that's what I see that tag as, is just because there is nearly almost 20,000 people in this group. Facebook does not show the group feed to everybody. So that's a way for me to just make sure you catch some of the fun things that happen in the group. So those are the main etiquette things within the group. If you are not seeing the emails with the PDF challenges and things, reach out to either myself or Ashley, and we will confirm that you are on the list. Before doing that, I suggest that you go into your email and you search for either Amanda D, so my name, or Amanda at creativelycrafting.com, which is the email that they will come from, because some of the email providers will hide it because they think it's promotion, because it has links in the email. If you have searched for that and you still can't find it, let us know, and we can make sure that, number one, you're on the list and that the email went out to you. And if we see that and for some reason it's still not coming through, we can send you the link to the email so you can get the information and then help you make sure to put us onto kind of like a safe list, so that you see the email. So when you see my next email, click and put this person as a favorite or add my email into your address book. I find for some people it helps if you just reply to my email and say thank you, or just so that there's some communication back and forth, that the providers will stop burying things. That is something that is completely out of my control. I do not in any way mean to not send emails to people, but there's only so much I can do. When 20,000 emails go out, some of them get hit and disappear into the world of what the internet providers seem to think is spam. So if you don't, like I said, you can private message Ashley. She will get the information to me. If you private message me, it may take longer just because I get a lot more messages. But we will make sure that you get what you need for the challenge. So the challenge itself will come out, it's each month. So the 1st to the 31st of every month, we have a brand new challenge with a brand new little pattern and a brand new prize. So each month I will email out the challenge information a day or two prior to the beginning of the month. Usually I try to make it a Thursday or Friday so that you can print it for the weekend, but it all depends when the first falls. So example, for August, the first is on the Friday, so I'm going to send it out. I think I'm sending it out the Thursday so that you have the information prior to the first day of the month and you're able to start getting ready with your challenge. And so in the email, you will see a link to the PDF for the challenge, and you will see a link to the bobbin, I'm going to say bobbin because 2023 are little bobbins, but to the little pattern that comes there. 2 separate PDFs, so that you can save the patterns should you not be doing them right away, or you can use them in Pattern Keeper without having to pull information out of the PDF for it and things like that. So I'm just going to pull up our challenge here. Actually, I'm going to pull up this year's, planner, because they're all in here. And I want it to be bigger, sorry. Okay, so I am going to go to August. No, I'm going to go to September because September is coming up. Okay, so our stitch challenges. And for 2024, they're going to be very similar. There is one thing being added, and I'll go over that at the end of the video. But for now, we're going to just go over how these challenges work and what you need to do in order to get through the challenge without any stress or headache, because I just want these to be fun. They're completely just a fun way to get you motivated to stitch a little more. If you're finding them stressful, then do the parts that don't cause you stress. I have had people win the prize every month when they've had 2 entries into the draw. So just because you think that 1 entry isn't going to get you to win, I've had people win with 1 or 2 entries. So it is worth doing. So we'll start here with the challenge for September. So the mission has 3 parts. So there's the stitches, that's just counting your stitches. There's the Stitch-O, which is the bingo style board, and the Stitch Me bonus pattern. That is the pattern that is included in the planner itself. So that is this pattern here. I'm not going to show the whole thing, but this is the pattern that's included in the planner. The mini bobbin is just a square. So the mini pattern you get every month is just a square on the Stitch-O board that you would get those points for. So you can gain 20 points for your stitching counting, so the stitches, and you get 10 points from the Stitch-O board, so the bingo board, and you can get 10 points from the bonus pattern that is included in the planner. And then the prize, say for September, is any pattern off of my Etsy shop. You go in, you pick one, and I send it to you. Other months we've done mugs and totes. So that switches each month, and that prize is announced usually by about the 10th of the following month. So you'll have your stitches, like I said, max of 20 points. Your Stitch-O bingo board, 10 points. The Stitch Me bonus is 10 points. And then if you are a Stitchie, so our paid Stitchie membership, you can get an additional 10-point bonus just for being a Stitchie, and you get a maximum of 50 entries into the draw. You would go to this link here, and we'll go over that at the end on how to submit your points, but you would submit your points before the 6th of the following month. So for August, by September 6th, you get your points in, and then I will do the draw after that. So here's the first part of the challenge is your counting. So you will count your stitches. Every type of stitch counts as one stitch. So if the pattern calls for a back stitch, it would be one leg of back stitch. So from when you come up to when you go down, that's one. So if it goes across 10 squares, it's still just one. If it goes across every square, then each one is one. Every time you go up and down counts as one for back stitching. And then a full stitch, a half stitch, 3/4 stitch, all of those are one stitch in terms of your counting. So if the pattern calls for it. So each month you'll see that the goal is slightly different. I just pick a number each month. And for every time you get to 1,000, so you would color in one of these X's every time you get 100 stitches done in the month. And then you will get a point for every 1,000 stitches you get done per month. So you get points as you go, and then you get a 10-point extra for getting to the goal of the month. So the goal of the month being 5,000, you're going to get 5 points for doing that 5,000. And then because you hit the goal, you're going to get another 10 points. So you'll have 15 points. And then if you keep going above and beyond the goal, you can get 5 more points. So you can get to the max of 20 points in terms of just counting your stitches. So that's what this part of the challenge is. So you'll get the max of 20 points total on there. The Stitch-O board is kind of like a bingo board. And you are going to go through and you're going to fill out the spaces throughout the month. So one in the center is a free space. If you finish the mini bobbin for the month, you get a space. There are some just about stitching on certain days of the week. There's some with stitching different colors. It could be any color in the range. It doesn't have to be specifically like what DMC calls red. It's any color that you consider red. And then there's the Stitch an Owl, Stitch a Sunflower, Stitch a Pencil, Stitch an Apple. These are what I call the Stitch It bundles. So those are those tiny little patterns that I offer out for you to purchase should you wish to get those 4 squares done. And they work great as little embellishments on other things as well. You'll see squares where it's finished 60 stitches, finished 120. If you in one session do 500, you can count off all of these 4 squares because you've done over that many. So you've got 60 in here, that's 180. So if you do 200, that covers you those 2 squares. Some are stitching with very specific colors. Other ones are trying stitching different fabrics, different positions, different places, on different days. Some of them are sharing stuff in the group. Some of them are cleaning and organizing, watching to certain things. Like it changes throughout each month. If you have questions about a specific mission on the Stitch-O board, you can post it in the group and I'll be happy to answer for finishing off the boards. So what you would do is you would just highlight out which ones you finish as you go, and at the end of the month you can get a max of 10 points. So this means that you get one of these 4 things. So you don't get 10, 15, 17, 18 points. You get 10 points. So if you fill the board, you get 10 points. If you get just the outer square, you get 5 points. If you get a line, you get 2 points. And if you get the 4 corners, you get 1 point. So if you get a line, you don't get 2 points and an additional 1 point for the corners. You get just the 2 points. It's whatever the highest item that you finished off with. So if you finished off with the outer square, you're going to get 5 points. You're not going to get 1, 2, and 5. I've seen people add these together. It is not the case. The most you can get is 10, and that's if you fill the board completely. So you're either going to look for a square, the full board, or a square to get the higher points. And after that, it's if you got a line, you get 2 points. If you have the 4 corners, which is the simplest one to get, you get 1 point. So if you are finding these little missions kind of stressful and you don't want to try to get any extra points, if you just count your stitches and that will get you these 4 corners. So as long as you stitch this much in within the month, so add those 4 numbers together, then you're getting the 4 corners, you're getting 1 point here plus your stitch count points. So you're getting points towards, and you could win the little prizes that come each month. So that's the 2 main parts of the challenge. And then, like I said, if you finish the pattern, I'm going to go back to this screen. If you finish the Stitch Me pattern, which is the one in the planner, you get 10 more points. And if you are a Stitchy, you get 10 more points. So you will get the max of 50 points. So if I go to bit.ly/stitch points, if I could type, I did not do that right. Okay, so now that I'm typing correctly, you will see this is just a Google form. It's just so this way it goes onto a spreadsheet for me to be able to know who is entering in the draw. So you're going to put your name as it is on Facebook so that I can tag you correctly, your email address. This way I can just reach out if you don't reach out to me on Facebook. Which month you're submitting for, so August would be the current one. How many points did you earn? And be sure to include your bonus points. So that's where you are going to add up your points and take your total number and put it in here. The biggest number I should see in here is 50, and that's for a Stitchy who did everything. And then there's just a kind of comment section. So if you really like the challenge, you found something super hard, you really liked a certain thing, you got to try something new, and like you can add whatever comments you want here, and then you're just going to submit. Once it's submitted, then I will after the 6th, depending what day, again, it depends on what day it falls and what else is going on, I will post, and I will post into the Facebook group who won that prize, and that person would just reach out to me and I will get you your prize. So that is the basics of the cross stitch challenges that happen every month. And as I said, they are free each month, and they happen every month. And then in 2024, I'm just going to go to okay, so for our challenges for 2024, there's just one slight change. So it's going to be the same concept, except that I'm adding in an oops board. So I just wanted to find a way to have some fun with the frustrations that some people end up with cross stitching. So you still have your stitch challenge, which is 20 points. Your Stitch-O board is still the 10 points. The Stitch Me pattern in the planner is 10 points, and then you can get up to 5 additional entries by completing these 5 things. So if they don't happen to you throughout the month, good for you, because they're not things you really want to happen. But if they do happen, at least you can get some extra points to win a prize. So this, I don't even, in January. So like if the frog showed up, or if you spent money on a no spend month, if you spilled something on your whip, if you lost a needle, or you lost at Thread Chicken, just goofy little things that you can add 5 extra points. So now the board will show your 20 points for your stitches, 10 points for your Stitch-O board, your Stitch Me bonus, which is the planner pattern. The oops board is your extra 5 points, and then the Stitchy bonus is still 10. So now the max will be 55 instead of 50. So that's the only thing changing in 2024, is that board has been added in. And then when it comes to the Stitch-O board, it is going to be very similar. Again, we're still just going to have that free square in the middle, and a bunch of fun things that you can do throughout the month to gain your points. So if you have any questions in regards to the challenge or the Facebook group or anything to do with any of that, you can put them in the comments, or you can reach out to us, and we will be happy to answer anything. I hope that this little tutorial helps you to embrace the challenge without any stress or any extra headaches, because that's not what it is made for. It is just made to have some fun. So I hope to see you active in the group, and I hope to see you gaining some points and maybe winning some prizes.